All right, so let me review what we're going to do today. We are going to discuss what is BIM Collaborator Pro, next generation of the cloud services. I'm going to show you how to start or enable a new share central file in the cloud, and how to publish files, and then how how Autodesk Docs works in the new user interface in the next generation of cloud services. Next class, I'm going to dig a little more on some of the modules of BIM Collaborator Pro. One of them is called the model coordination, which enable teams to execute clash interference analysis using the cloud. So it's also like the next generation of Navisworks, which, if you're familiar with Navisworks, it's a tool by Autodesk that enables us to analyze clash interferences between two different specialties or two different consultants and enable issues for them. And so that is the plan for this week. I think I'll be able to wrap this discussion by next class, but in case it bleeds over, I might have to take a little bit of the time for the class on the 13th. Right now, all of you have received two invitations, an entitlement to BIM Collaborator Pro and an invitation to join a project. There's nothing to download when it comes to access cloud services. Cloud services by nature exist on the cloud. And it's just a matter of accessing, making sure that you have access to the portal that hosts the projects, and then you're properly connected to synchronize your files to the central file. Okay, so let me start with a few slides. The Autodesk Construction Cloud is the division in Autodesk that supports, developed our cloud services. And the cloud services there are big four pillars, big four services or entitlements that firms can secure to support their projects. At the bottom of everything, it's a module called Autodesk Docs. All of you are familiar. Some of you are familiar with Docs already, which is document management space that acts as a central repository of files. Docs is both available in BIM 360 and in the ACC, a shortcut for Autodesk Construction Cloud. And it acts as a distribution and exchange platform for all these different modules and capabilities of the cloud service. So on one end, on the design side, we have a module called BIM Collaborator Pro. The old generation of this was called Autodesk Design Collaboration, or C4R. I think that was the first name that the module received. And this module allows architects and designers to work collaboratively with a central file that is hosted on the cloud. For these entitlements, you have to pay a subscription, a year subscription, which give you access automatically to Autodesk Docs. In addition to that, to support other areas of the industry, Autodesk sells Takeoff, which focus on quantification and extracting volumes and areas from existing models. And then the area that we're pushing a lot of development is Autodesk Build, which is the module that supports construction management and construction administration. And their core capabilities of Build include modules to support the construction management, RFI submittals, minutes, and reports, cost management to support the financial aspects of the project, including ways to track the numbers on change orders, payment applications, contracts, scope. A quality module that's focused on elaborating quality planning, punch list, in issue management, safety capabilities, and project closeout for project turnover. I'm not going to talk about Autodesk Build here, but you should be aware that the largest contractors are adopting Build as their preferred construction management software. And if you enter a construction administration agreement with a sophisticated contractor, most likely you will be invited to collaborate on this Build. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how Docs works, and then how design collaboration and coordination works. I'm not going to talk about takeoff and Autodesk Build. So again, you pay an entitlement for either BIM Collaborate Pro or Takeoff or Build. And by purchasing any of these modules, you automatically get access to Docs. In addition, if you are, if your company has the AEC collection, which is a package of all the AEC focused products in a single bundle, then Autodesk Docs comes with it. Just Docs. For the rest, there is an additional price. In addition, every module in the cloud has a dashboard user interface that extracts data about the project and present to you as a welcome page. Inside that page is called Insight, and that is included and visible as a front end page for every project. And in addition, there's an administration, project administration, and account administration that is typically not visible to most of you members, but allow you to set up a project, templates, assign, invite permissions, create companies, assign members, etc. I'm not going to mention a lot of these admin activities, because usually BIM managers or BIM directors are the ones who take the lead in doing that. I will mention some things related to administration, but that's not going to be the focus of this class. So again, these are the 3 modules supporting all these different capabilities. The common denominator between these modules is the Autodesk Docs. So Docs is a document management system that allows you to use a cloud interface to create quality controls activities like viewing a model, sharing it with stakeholders, creating red lines and markups, and manage the distribution of your design and construction exchanges. The idea you can get anytime, anywhere access to the project in a single a central repository of information, and as a single source of information distribution, it helps reduce errors in communication, allow you to improve your project outcomes. These are some of the business values. Centralize all information in a single platform, allow a systematic distribution of information by disciplines, allow you to control access to some relevant folders, and it also allows you to distribute your drawings directly from the Revit environment, utilize internal tools for design review, have complete control of your documentation versioning, and access a paper trail on the digital distribution of the project by the different stakeholders. You know who had access to what and to what extent those recipients have seen or accessed the information. And it's accessible via mobile devices, from iPad or your phone, which is critical for the to properly communicate things on the field. All right, what I'm going to show you here is easily how to navigate through the project information, access sheet and 3D models from the cloud, review the automatic versioning that happens in docs, issue management, which is our ability to generate trackable, actionable items as a result of design review activities, ways to comment, to provide markups, distribute markups, and compare versions of the cloud, publish files in the cloud, and stay on top of the issues discovered in the project with issue management. All right, let's jump quickly on Revit here. All right, if each of you was invited to collaborate to a cloud project, let me close this here. And so if you open Revit 2023, you're going to see that, one second, let me open my markup tools here. All right. Revit 2023 will give you access to your cloud, to the cloud projects you've been invited when you access the Autodesk Docs tab in the home page. To access a project in the cloud, two things need to happen. First one, you need to have entitlement. So you need to carry a license. And the license, the most common scenario in the industry is the bring your own license. If you're going to work in a project, your company is expected to secure a license for you, and you bring that license to the collaboration team. When at the beginning of when we started the process of collaborating on the cloud, big companies used to secure licenses and allow the design team or smaller teams to consume some of these seats. But I'm seeing that that's not the trend anymore. The trend is that If you are part of the team, bring your own license. And the second thing is you need to get invited. Get invited to the project. So the project administrator has to invite you to collaborate in a project. You can be invited to be a regular member, a contributor, or you can be invited to be a project administrator, which will give you greater access to edit and modify the information in the entire site. It is a good idea if you are the owner of a project that you invite several administrators so that there is a backup person in place in case one, the main point of contact is not around. Enabling users to access to the cloud is easy, but it's a little and it's fast. You just need someone who understands how to do that. So it's a good idea to have several administration in a project. All right, so when you click Autodesk Docs here, it will display the portals in the cloud that you've been invited to that are running projects in 2023. So Revit projects in Revit are version specific, and the cloud is not an exception. So if a project is in 2023 and you've been invited to collaborate, then you should see the list of projects in 2023 in the cloud that you're part of. So it's important that you know what version of Revit you're using to begin with. Otherwise, you're not going to see, even though if a project was created in 2022 and you are invited and you open Revit 2023, your 2022 project is not going to be listed in this projects. So you're only going to see the list of projects in the current version of the software. Does that make sense? And
does the account need to be created for this process that we're doing?
The account need to be switched, I believe.
So it's asking me to create an account under the same name as I had before, which I don't see why. I don't have a problem with it. That's what we're supposed to do, right?
I think you should click on what your invitation through the email. That automatically.
Right. I did that, Co, but then in that process, it's asking me to create an account.
Oh, it didn't ask me. Interesting.
So Lindsay, do you use your the same email that you provide in this class as your
yes, let me see. Double check it. Yes, and I've logged in successfully to Revit 2023.1. So I'm a little surprised it's asking me for an account.
Yeah,
well, I guess I'll accept this and create the account. It's the same email and the same password and same name. Oh, wait a minute. Right below it says, I'm sorry. It looks like somehow I'm not signed in. Now it says this account is reserved and pending creation via an email invitation. All right, well, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and create the account.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, out of all the invites that I sent this afternoon, yours was the only one that says pending. That's why I sent you the email earlier. The rest seems to be having access.
I'm surprised I'm being asked to do an extra step, but here it goes. It's done. Okay, never mind. Thank you.
How about the rest of the team, you guys? Can you report if you see the TMM ARC Revit Learning project?
No.
Mine does not. Mine is an empty folder. This
Right.
is Arlene.
So
Yeah. Mine is too.
So when you click this drop down, notice that there's something that allows you to change an account.
Oh, okay.
And an account is a tenant site of projects by an account owner. I'm an account owner. I have a tenant site called MMARC. And you should see the list of all the accounts that with projects that you've been invited to. So if you click this drop-down list and click change account, you should see in this list something called TMM ARC. That's my account tenant site. Do you guys see that?
Yeah, do you choose that?
I see that too, and it says it has one project, but then when I switch it over, it's still an empty account.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. Do you see the Revit Learning?
I did.
But you don't see anything.
That's right.
I don't file.
Okay.
This folder is empty.
Yeah. And I think that's my fault because I haven't assigned the appropriate permissions. But I'll go over that right now.
Okay.
How about the rest? I just want to make sure that you have access to these two things: TMM ARC, Revit Learning.
Yeah, I believe I'm in Revit.
I'm seeing it.
And it's empty?
I see it.
No, I see projects.
Oh, you see project files?
Yeah.
So who was it? You, Isabella, who spoke earlier? Sorry, I didn't recognize it.
I'm still blank. I've got Revit
It
Learning up
wasn't-
there.
Sorry, it wasn't me, it was someone else.
Oh, okay. So one thing you could do is
I'm gonna close Revit and reopen it.
yeah, one thing you could do is also sign out in the upper right side, and then sign back in. That's going to refresh the account info.
Okay, I'll do, if I don't see it this time, I will.
Yeah.
So I see architecture and shared folder, but I don't see project files. Is that our permissions things too?
You see architecture.
Damn it.
So if you open the architecture folder, do you see any file?
Oh yeah, yeah, I see these three.
Okay. All right. Who else is having problems?
I'm still screwed up. Jim Degner here.
Okay.
I'm trying to log back in.
Okay.
Trying to figure out what my password was. Oh, didn't have the capital right. Hold on.
This is what I was afraid was going to happen. This thing is conflicting with.
So
Okay, I managed to sign back in, but I'm waiting to see what happens.
Okay.
So when I back in, it said that I don't have permission to complete the action, and to contact our administrator. So does that mean that we need to contact our IT first before we?
No.
Yeah, I'm getting the same thing.
So when I invite you to collaborate in this project, you should have received an email from our automatic email from Autodesk, one that says, welcome to Revit Learning. That email,
Yeah,
you need to accept it. That's the project needs to acknowledge that you have accepted membership by clicking the link generated via email. It's
I
like
knew this was gonna happen.
When did you send that email? I saw that email, but I can't find it now.
it's this afternoon, probably around 2 or
Okay.
3 this afternoon.
Well, we got it at
Yeah,
5.
welcome to Revit Learning.
Revit Learning, yes.
And just say, go to your project?
Yes.
Okay.
The email should say, welcome to
Yeah.
Revit Learning. Yes.
And then it asked me to sign in again. So try that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay, then it says, take a tour, manage your project files here, all this stuff. Okay, so now I'll see if I can get back on this thing.
All right. So that email,
man,
that email with that hyperlink will give you access to the cloud Autodesk Docs.
Right. So I have that in an open folder. It says upload files and it's got a bunch of files in it.
Cool. So you are in.
So I'm in, but that's not in Revit. How do I find it in the Revit world? Do I upload the files and then it'll be there?
No, I'm going to create a central file.
Okay,
Right now the model we're gonna all want to work is not there yet.
Okay.
If you click that email link, you should open this portal. You should have access to models, architecture, and you should have access to these files. Just let me check the permissions, and this is probably a good time to talk about permissions.
Yeah, I don't have permission to get in.
Okay, so
I
after you've been invited to collaborate in a project, I am the project administrator. I need to make sure that you have access to this project. And Autodesk Docs has a structure of folders. Typically, it's broken down by big containers of information. One of them is models, and then it's broken down by the different disciplines. I want you all to have access to the models folder. So these 3 little buttons. You see, I don't think you all have permissions. And so I have to add each of you. I need to invite all of you to access the model folder. And so what I do is I just add, and I believe I have a company. I have sort you by company. So I'm going to start with Folio here. So anyone who belongs to Folio is going to have edit rights, right? And so each of these permissions are graphically represented as these horizontal bars, and the different permissions are view only, which only allow you to see
okay.
elements in the cloud. Did it work, Miss?
No, I'm now out of all my Revits. I can't get into anything. It's saying, lets you sign up on the latest version, get free trial, buy now. No active subscription or trial could be found for this email address.
That's, uh,
So I can't even log into, I tried to go back to my 2022 that I've been working in. And that won't load anymore either. So I'm dead in the water now. So let's forget about me. I'll just observe. And then later on, we might have to troubleshoot why my license has been screwed up.
let's share a screen after class if you want, Lindsay.
Yeah, okay. Let's do that.
I may be able to help you afterwards.
Okay, what I don't understand is I've got two screens here. One is what you're showing, and that's in Autodesk Docs. The other thing I opened up was Revit, where it's,
Correct.
but nothing's in there yet.
No, nothing is there because I haven't invited you now.
Okay, got it.
I am in the process and invite you all because I want you to see the process, what it takes to invite somebody to the collaboration module. I'm gonna. This is Docs, and I am inviting people to access the different folder structure. I'm going to add now members from Page Turnbull, which is the entire company. And these are the different levels of access. On one end, you have viewing and downloading. On the other end, it's ability to view, download, publish, markups, upload, edit. So that's the level of permission I want to give you. And finally, HWI. I'm going to give also edit rights. And the way
is
yes.
edit the most that anybody can get access? Because it's only up to
good question. As a member, yes. Manage will make you an administrator. So instead of inviting you as a collaborator member, I invite you as an admin, and then you become a manager of the project. A full administrative control. And an administrator will have access and visibility to everything, but also has the ability to create new projects on the account behalf. And unfortunately, I can't do that now for you guys. The way companies are, the reason I can work with companies here is when I invite a person to join, which I did earlier this afternoon, I assign the following information: email, company, role, access. If you see the access, everyone here is a member except me, that's an administrator. And the status is active. And this is when it was added. And so as long as there's a company associated with a user, then in the file permission settings, I can assign globally permissions to anyone using the company name. Otherwise, I will have to do it one by one, like one person at a time. It's 16 people of you. It's too tedious for me to do that. So instead, this is a quick way to assign the same privileges to everyone in a company. Sometimes the BIM manager may decide that within an organization, let's say within Page Turnbull, most of the people is just going to be editing and so the setting that says create would allow you to do that, just upload a file, download a file, synchronize with Central, etc. But you won't be able to like create new folders or clean your discipline space. The edit one allow you to do that. And so different team configuration may restrict the access to certain users. And obviously, if there's a user, for example, the owner or an external contractor who you only want him to view and download, then you can give him this view and download privilege. And this is typically for non-Revit users who need the Revit information or need to access the Revit information. Okay, so you guys have been invited. I would advise, in order to refresh the information on the Revit side, which is this one, please close Revit. I'm sorry. Then you'll have to open Revit again. That's going to refresh the information display in the welcome screen, and you should see the three the models folder with the content inside. So again, I close Revit, open Autodesk Docs. In the account, make sure you're looking at the TMM arc. If not, change the account. And then open the Revit Learning Projects. And you should have access to the models folder. Let me know if you do not have access to that.
It still says it's empty. I don't
I
know.
don't have it. It says you need permission to get it.
And did you accept the invitation via email?
Yeah, I did that before. I mean, I see TM ARC Revit Learning.
But you don't see the folder that says models.
Yeah, I don't see any information under there. Revit Learning.
If you remember your password, login password, can you sign out and
Sign out and sign me back in.
Yeah. Oh, I see that screenshot from you, Arlene. And
So I don't know. So I see upload files and I see architecture, design, MEP, and structure. Is that?
architecture
okay.
and MEP structure.
So that's on the other screen, the docs screen from the internet. Do I upload? Do I press upload files?
No.
Okay.
So BIM Collaborate Pro has this is called the portal, the web portal.
Okay.
Web portal is to access and display the information on the cloud.
Okay.
And then separately, Revit has access to the design collaboration projects you've been invited to be part of.
Well, my Revit is not talking to my docs, I guess. I mean,
yeah, and you did log out and sign back in, right?
yeah, twice.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's still same thing. Sometimes it did same in Revit 2022 also. So I had to add the members individually under the project folders. You know where those three dots are?
I also want to review the entitlements, which I think you don't need. Because HWI it's already entitled hearing, but I'm just double check. This is what an account manager will do. And Arlene, here you are with this entitlement, and you have in collaborate proceed assign. So it's not from the license side. So I'm going to try to invite those of you who have issues individually instead of from company. Let me try that. So. All right, who else is having problems?
I am.
Sam?
It just threatened to close out my license forever, so I'm gonna.
Oh, me too. Trying.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jiaying, that's you, right?
Yes, JIA. Yeah.
Okay, it recognized me again, but it still says I don't have permission to get this Revit learning stuff.
Okay, I'll add you manually.
It's told me that my license manager is not functioning or is improperly installed. Revit will shut down now. Just FYI, we don't need to, I need to fix it before we leave tonight, but that's all.
Yeah, let's it's not recognizing that credential, like it wasn't entitled with Revit, sounds like. Well, let's talk after class, Lindsay.
Yeah, fine.
All right. Who else need the manual invites? And if
I still don't have it, but I mean, I can upload them manually, I guess. I don't know.
yeah, so it's strange because it looks like you have access to the web portal.
Yes.
You don't see it in the Revit.
Right. It
And
won't let me in Revit.
And question, do you have 23.1 or just
Yes.
23?
23.1.
Okay.
Who was that? Sorry.
Arlene.
Oh, just and
You still don't see it, Arlene?
no, I don't. It's still the same. I logged on and it's still saying that same message saying that I need an administrator
Right.
or a tax administrator.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else to suggest.
So just out of curiosity, there are two emails. The first email was sent around 3 p.m. welcome to the new Autodesk software, right?
Mhm.
And then there is the second email that came around 5 p.m.
Oh, that's the one I was using.
So I clicked on both. I clicked on them in sequence, the first one and then the second one. Did you all do that?
No, I didn't hit. Where do you click on the first one? It says get your software. I was afraid to click that.
Yes. Get your software.
And you
I
clicked
got-
on that?
I clicked on that.
Oh, you're dangerous, man.
Well, I'm in.
You're in. Okay.
I
And what did-
clicked on, I did not install anything. Did you install anything? Because the first one, the 3 p.m., gave me the internet, all product services.
Right. Yeah, there's a whole page of like 26 AutoCAD products, so I didn't know where to go.
Yes.
There's nothing to install. This is to activate the service simply.
Oh, so just say, okay.
Yeah. So the first email is, I think it's generated when I assign a license, and I think the first email, if you click it, is to acknowledge that you agree to use that license of that assignment. And then the
Yeah, I
second
think I
email,
did that.
and then the second email is invite to access this project, which I thought the first one was optional. I was pretty sure that the second one you have to click in order to access the accept invitation to join this team.
But I mean, we're on this one that's is a grid of all these different products. Some says download, some says access. I mean,
That's all
there's
you
no-
need to do. That's all, you
It's
don't
all-
need to click on anything.
Yeah, nothing.
I've
to-
already done. What do? You just open it and you're done? Or
Yeah.
is there some?
That was it. Yeah.
That was it. You say, okay, got your
There's no-
message.
There's no place to say okay. Okay. I mean, seems like I have to do something, but
No.
I've opened it before and it didn't help. I mean, I opened it today. Terms of use, do I have to say agree to something or?
No, there's like literally there's nothing.
Okay,
It's
all
just
right.
open.
Well, I've opened it. I looked at it. That's it. So I close it.
Okay. And then on your second email,
Yeah,
did you access that?
yeah. I did, and that one shows me, gives me the whole screen that you had that shows all the
Exactly.
files and all that. So
And in that, do you see the project, the folder models?
yes.
And
Oh,
do you-
no, I see. Yes, I do. Models and then architect, then all the other ones. Yeah.
So
I see
you're
that.
in. You're in. It's an issue with Revit. The last thing I would ask you is maybe close Revit and reopen it.
Hey, I've done that a couple times, but I could do it again.
Keep doing until you get in.
Yeah, okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
See?
I've been doing this all day, this stuff, just frustrated, getting nothing done stuff, so. Oh,
All right. How are you doing, Arlene? You still don't have access?
I got it,
Oh, cool.
finally.
So rub your tummy and then pat your head.
Okay, I'm doing it.
I
So-
just got off. I mean, I closed out and I'm closing. I mean, I'm waiting for it to open back in.
Okay.
14th time's a charm, Arlene.
Um, all right, so I guess just with Lindsay, I'll have to troubleshoot after class.
Yeah, it worked for me now. Yeah.
Okay, good sound.
So individually adding, yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have troubles?
I don't think any of the things we did with the emails made a difference. It probably just took the cloud that long to get the addresses from the guy.
Hmm.
My theory.
All right, so let's talk about. Okay, so now you've been entitled. You have access to the project. This will typically happen on every team that you're part of. And now I'm going to walk you through the process of creating a central file and placing it in the appropriate folder on the cloud. And I'm going to show you how to publish files and how we can all connect in the same project at the end of the class. Let's try to do that. So let me show this side by side. So on the left screen, the web portal. It's a display of static files. What does that mean? That means that the models that you see posted or living in the portal have been published from Revit. They are not co-authored by multiple people at the same time. And these are not the files that you will see when you synchronize with Central. These are static published files that the team decided to share at specific times. The other thing is that these are published by disciplines, and they display a subset of views, meaning that publishing a model is the act of deciding when to share your central file in Revit, make it available to the disciplines with a subset of selected views. Now, on the other hand, the Revit portal or the Revit homepage will display the work in progress live files. So these are two different buckets. The static files are published. The Revit home that you see in Revit are the work in progress live files. These are co-authored by multiple people. And this will display all the views. The web portal is hosted by the project site, and they are visible to you. But the ones you see on Revit Home, these are hosted by an Autodesk server. The work in progress files are not visible on the web portal. What you see, it's a published static file, but you don't see the work in progress one. And so that's a big difference. So you never open a Revit file from the web portal. You always do it from the Revit user interface. And you only access the web portal when you want to, like if you're a consultant and you want to download the information that others have shared with you. So web portal is just to upload, download, and preview the files. Any question? All right, so I assume most of you already have access to the portal, and let me open. Let me display some of the properties of docs. Every time you click on one Revit file in the portal, a viewer is going to open. So I have here a sample file, for example. This is a very, very simple, quick project. You just have a wall and it's like a section box of the building. The viewer, has access to a compressed format of the project. You don't need Revit in order to access and view this file. And if on your end, if you want just double click the file, you're gonna see what I see here. The viewer also has a user interface that allows me to interact with the model. I can pan, I can orbit. I think if you do, you can pan and click. You can zoom to fit if you go if the view goes too far away. But you also have ability to make measurements. So this ruler icon that you see in the lower right side allow you to like measure the distance between 2 points. So that's roughly 15 feet. This is roughly 19.9. The dimensions persist until I can continue rotating this. And notice that how the dimension persists with the model until you hit done. And when you hit done, all these dimensions disappear. And so what's good about this visualizer is that the latency it's exponentially reduced in comparison with Revit. It's far much easier to rotate, navigate the model in the visualizer than it is to do it live in Revit. The other thing Revit has is this ability to create section boxes. But before I move to that, Revit display the ability to compare different versions. So this model I uploaded last year when I did this class last year. And every time I publish from Revit to the cloud, then a new version is created on top of another one. And so in the cloud, I have the ability to see the history of versions that have been published to the web portal. And you can go to the very first one. Sometimes if the file is too old to refresh, and what happened here is that I had this project in 2022 version. And then this morning I upgraded to 2023. If this happens, like there's an upgrade between two versions, the older files cannot be seen by the preview. But if this has remained in the same version, then I will have access to all the versions of the project. Let's open another file. So here I'm in the portal viewer, architecture, open this file called SM-AB4564. This is it's a larger project. And notice how navigating through this has close to zero latency in comparison with Revit. Not only you're able to see the 3D views, but you can navigate to the publish sheets as well. So on the panel on the left, in the the very first one, has something called sheets and views. And this is the list of the sheet and views is a subsection of the Revit views that, as a designer, you decide to share with a larger audience, with your consultants. You don't see all the views in the project. You just see the ones that are relevant, the ones that you choose to share with your peers. And so at the very basic level, you have the default 3D view in brackets that's coming from Revit. That's the view that I'm looking at here. In this environment, I can place myself in first person review. So this icon with a little person here give you a preview of these are the shortcuts and the keyboard that you can use to navigate through the space. Very simple. Just use the arrow keys in your keyboard, and go up and down is Q and E, and then look around at the left key. All right, so this takes me to the ground level. And from here, I can hit the ground here, and I can just start walking. If like myself, right? If you get lost, you can always zoom to fit. It takes you back to the entire project. I'm going to get a point that it's a little closer using my mouse wheel. I take first person here, and that's going to land me to a hard surface where I can start using the mouse to navigate the 3D space. It takes a few iterations to get used to this way of navigating. But once you nail it down, it's pretty straightforward. One first person experiences, it's a good way to facilitate meetings. It's easier and faster to do this in this environment than it is on Revit. And then it's very easy to share and create comments and issues as you use this as a design review tool.
Caesar, I'm really sorry. How did you get to sheets and views?
Go to the architecture folder.
Oh, okay, got it.
And then open this SM 2021 file.
Okay, I'm in the file.
This open this viewer, right? If you double click it, it will open the viewer. And you should be in the portal, web portal, not on Revit.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
The portal, it's on ACC.
Mhm.
The link to the portal, it's in the second email generated from me, from Autodesk.
I'm in the portal. I was just playing and probably missed the point where you got to it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I see your message, Arlene. Yeah, you're in. Awesome. All right, so here, again, if you're at the portal, web portal, the link is in the email sent auto-generated from the project invite. Again, go to models, architecture, hit this model, and the first icon, sheets and views. I was browsing on the 3D space of this project. Now click where it says 2D views. And 2D views give you access to the sheets inside the project that the user decided to share. So let's see, for example, open a sheet that is called cartography, the first one. This is literally like if you were looking at a PDF. In fact, you have the ability to print a PDF of a sheet directly from Docs without opening Revit. So if the set of drawings is part of the shared views, when you publish a model, you can actually open the 2D sheets from here and just send them to print to PDF individually. This project has a set of two-dimensional views that includes, some 3D views, 3D perspectives. It has a first floor plan, that's sheet number 18.
But everything we're looking at is in the Revit model, right?
It's in the Revit model, correct.
Good.
It's flat. it's like all of these two-dimensional views are living as part of the sheets sections in your Revit model. And so these include some views, like this sheet number 16 is a 3D view that was placed on a sheet, and then in docs it appears as a flat two-dimensional image. Let's see, other one here is the first floor and the second floor. This is just graphical ways of using Revit graphically for project presentations. There are some context use diagrams. The nice thing is that unlike Revit, the views don't stack one after the other. You just click on the sheets that you want to look at, and they are all available for you there. And then if you need to download this file, this Revit file, you can download directly from here. You can print it as PDF. It's saved as PDF, and you can just print just one sheet without even opening Revit. This is the preview. I'm gonna close that. Now, so you can access 3D views. You can access 2D views. I'm going to show you in a minute how we publish a file. You can also browse the content of a 3D view. So I'm going to go back to Sheets and View, open the 3D view in brackets to have access to the entire project, and open there's a button called Levels. And this is a start to segregate the model by the level in which they are hosted. And so notice that when I click level 1, Revit does this like section box, which I think is the equivalent of the align orient to view level 1. It creates like a section box associated with the view range of the view in Revit. And as a way to facilitate coordination discussions, you can use this effectively as a visualization tool. Then the other thing is called the model browser. Is the last button in this left panel, which allows you to selectively switch off elements in the project by category. So for example, I'm switching off the walls here, and maybe I switch off the planting, the site info, generic models, and notice how Revit, when things are frozen, they actually tone it down, show it like in grayscale. That is a property of the view. If you open the settings here, you have an ability to disable the ghost hidden objects. If I enable this, this is truly frozen categories. Again, it's on this gear settings. Leave hidden objects slightly visible. It's an option for the visualizer. All right, and then issues, it's an ability to display coordination issues that may arise during the coordination discussions. Let's close this file. No, let's go back to the sheets, go to 2D view, and open a floor plan. I'm going to open the second floor plan 19. When you're looking at two-dimensional views in docs, you have this really cool feature called Take Me There. This only works in projection floor plans. And this is allows you to say, hey, I want to see the three-dimensional space of a point in the two-dimensional plan. And so you enable the button, click a place, click a location in the ground. And I want to see how this room looks like in 3D. And then this is the direction of the camera. Where do I want the camera to look like? I want to say, I want to see that direction. And then place it, and it automatically takes me to the 3D view. Let me try it again. Here. Okay, I got it. Yep, and I am in that room. And you say, that is exactly the way I wanted to see it. So you can utilize this particular feature to facilitate coordination discussions in your coordination meetings instead of doing it in Revit. You have the sheets, and then from the sheets you go to the 3D view. I'm gonna do the same in a different space. I think this is like a kitchen or something. So click on the 2D location, click on the map, decide the direction. Got it. There you go. Use your mouse to navigate through the three-dimensional space in the model. Once you finish, it's a bedroom actually. When you finish this reviewing the space, just click back, and that takes you back to the floor plan. This is pretty cool, in particular in technical documentation review. The other thing you can do in this two-dimensional projection is all these markups, which sort of mirror what you can do in Bluebeam. Obviously, you know Bluebeam. Bluebeam, it's very popular with, or even Adobe PDF. This visualizer can compete with the extent of features that Bluebeam or Adobe PDF have, but it does have robust markup tools that allow you to share your comments in design review with the rest of the team. So here you can create clouds. You can create, you can draw with a pencil. You can also draw with a highlighter or write text. And all these markups are living in the sheet, but they are not visible to the rest of the team until you publish them. And so once you finish marking up all these elements, you can do a window selection. I'm using the Shift tool to select everything in the sheet. And you can publish. Right now, I've been marking this up in the sheet number 19, sheet number 16. And when I publish, the rest of you will be able to see them. So markups are personal to you until you decide to publish. And then if later you decide that, oh, I shouldn't have published it, you can unpublish, and then it leaves them visible only to you, or you can delete it if you want.
Can you, excuse me for the interruption, can you publish to a certain individual on the team that's been invited?
Yes, and so when you publish, it's visible to those who have permissions to see this. So the permissions are also control the permissions to markup are controlled by the project administrator.
Oh, okay.
And
So yeah, sorry. I meant if you wanted just to only share with structural and not to the whole team, that's not doable. It's everybody's on there.
It's depending where the file is. So different folder structures in docs
Okay.
can have different permissions. So for example, if your goal is to have just an internal review and you don't want external people to look at your markups, then just do it in your own folder, which only you have access. There's other folder structure, for example, one that is called share. These are packages and pieces of the information that you want to share with everyone. And so in here, you can say, okay, anything that I mark up in this folder, it's for the rest of the team to watch. But everything I put on my folder, it's for my internal team to see.
Got it.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Or if you have markups, and in fact, I can have in the share folder, I can have all different disciplines, and you can do markups in the structural files. The markups will have, they are associated with your credential, and so the recipient will know who make those, who author them, and have the ability to proceed with that change. The other good thing about the markups is that the file could be replaced with a new version, but the markups will remain. And so when a file is published again to the portal, those markups are persistent regardless of the version of the model. And then if you're doing this structure QA, then you can go back and review that the clouds have been taken care of. And then you, as the owner of the markup, can delete them. So, all right. So this is these are the markup tools for two-dimensional sheets. Notice that in 3D, you cannot do markups. You can only do them in projection views. So any of these flat two-dimensional objects will display this markup tools. This project was done internally. I think it was used in an Autodesk presentation several years ago. I like it because it displays different things you can do directly in Revit. You see, all of this is Revit, and some people think that Revit is not good for diagrams, but this challenge that notion. And so this is a two-dimensional view published in a sheet. As part of a sheet, then I can mark it up. And I can publish it. And then, but in the 3D view itself, I cannot create them. I can create issues, but I'll talk about issues a little bit later. All right, so like I mentioned earlier, different folders can be restricted, can have restricted access to team members. Ideally, each of the disciplines will have access to their own folder. And then when they are ready to share, information goes into a different spot, in a different folder called share, and this is where the share packages will go. All right, if you want to stay on top of what your consultants have uploaded, you can subscribe to a folder. Say, for example, you want to know when your structural counterpart is uploading a new model, or when they have published a new model, whether it's in the model space, on the share space, depend on how you structure the permissions. But using this three little dot menu, you can click the more button, and then you can subscribe to a folder. And subscribe to our folder is gonna send you an email notification. And maybe this is too much and you decide not to do that. But every time there's new information in this folder or subfolders, you will receive an email. And sometimes, in particular, if you are the BIM coordinator, you want to know when things are uploaded on a critical path of information, then you can do that. You can subscribe to something. The other thing you can do is that you can send transmittals. And the transmittal is a structured way of sending an information exchange that leave a paper trail to someone in the team. So for example, I want to send this sample file to a particular consultant. So I pack this as a transmittal directly from here using the three little button here. Enter the recipient name. I'm just gonna pick like Arlene and Co. Save it. Then you establish what permission they have. Do you want them to see each other, or do you want them to see only themselves? This is just to restrict the visibility of the recipients. This is the sample file that it will be sent. And I'm going to send it to myself so I can show also. Can I send it to myself? No, I cannot. Oh, yes, I can. And this is transmittal number 1. And this is not only from Revit files. This could be PDFs, Word documents, images, anything. I think docs can receive up to 64 different types of file types. I think the only ones that are restricted is the exe. Docs, it's scared of exe files because they could be viruses. But the workaround is that you put an exe inside of a zip file and send the zip file, and the zip file will be readable. So I send this, I'm creating this transmittal. This is transmittal number 3 for this project. As soon as I hit OK, the recipient will receive this email along with Arlene, and this is a file that I'm sending to you. You view the transmittal, and when I open this email, the transmittal records my activities. So there's a log of, this is the log, you see, Chao and Arlene have received them, and Cesar already opened it. It tells you what the contents are, what version it is, and you can download it from here as a zip file. And then when Arlene or Chao or Co open their email, I can see the paper trail as well. So I see like
can we just view that, or do we have to keep download it? There isn't it.
They can live here. You don't have to download it. They can. This is usually done when you want to send something that is restricted from the view of others. For example, if you have a file in the architectural folder that is not visible to your consultants, but then you want to share it to, let's say, the owner or the structural engineer. It could be a Revit file, it could be a report. You create the transmittal, they receive the transmittal, they can leave it on the cloud, or they can download it if they want to.
So when we do this process, it's more than likely we'll have to have document management as part of the bundle. Otherwise, it's gonna go crazy.
So Docs comes with all these capabilities. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So automatically comes with the ability to create transmittals, the ability to create reports, issues. So nothing of these is outside of the ordinary docs entitlement.
Oh, okay, because yeah, that was the diagram, the first slide you show on your slide deck. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy. Transmittals, it's a part of the yeah, docs supports the entire, all the modules. And so the features that you see on the screen are available for each of these entitlements.
So one last question. Does that mean collaborative Pro is going to supersede 360?
Not anytime soon, but eventually,
Okay.
because it's built on a platform that's going to support more connection with the Autodesk ecosystem, and BIM 360 doesn't have as many integrations as this new portal is.
That's the idea.
So in fact, if you create new projects and you already, I think by virtue of having BIM 360 license, you already have BIM Collaborative Pro seats. I would encourage you to test it or try a new project in BIM Collaborative Pro.
Right.
I don't know if a lot of the features I mentioned to you today are available in BIM 360. It's been a while since I worked in it. Okay, so in addition to sending transmittals, let's go back to the files here. You can publish views. Like you see under the architectural folder, I have these LTU, these resident housing project models. This is not a model. This is a shared view from a different project. So the cool thing about the next generation of Revit is that now you can say, if you're invited to do 2 different projects, you can establish bridges between these 2 projects. This is usually done by the project administrator. So we introduced this thing called Bridge that allow me to transfer models from one portal, from Revit Learning, for example, to an external portal that you're also part of. So why is this important? Sometimes you want to keep your work in progress file internal, just accessed by you, but then the content of a specific folder, you want to synchronize it with a recipient's discipline or a recipient owner folder. Let's say the owner wants to have the latest versions for you. And so with Bridge, you can define incoming files. So this was a view that I created in a different project. And every time this view is created or replaced, it travels automatically into my project. And I was just testing this new feature a few months ago. I thought it was pretty cool. It was a long-standing request, the ability to create this cross connection between portals that are supporting a project. Okay, so wow, it's 7:13 already. I wanted to cover how to publish a file, and then I will close. I'll end the class. So, so hopefully by now everybody has access to the Revit work in progress bucket. And remember, the work in progress bucket is not the same as the web portal. Here you have access to the live central files. And if I open architecture here and I open this sample file. Then it's going to open the project, and let's say this sample file has, I think the sample file doesn't have any sheet, but as a collaborator of this project, I'm going to very quickly create a couple of sheets. Yeah, there's no sheets here. So you know how to create sheets, the view sheets. New one. I'm going to create 2 sheets. And then on one sheet, I'm going to place some elevations. And then in the other sheet, I'm going to put a floor plan. And so this, I'm going to rename it, call it floor plan. 1 or 2. I'm going to call it sections. You don't have to do this, by the way. This is just me doing it. I'm going to synchronize with Central, which updates the information in the work in progress bucket. These synchronizing with Central is not going to update the file in the portal. You have to publish it. And to publish a file, you have to select what sheets and views are going to be part of the publish activity. And so under the Collaborate tab, where it says Publish Settings, this is a way to create sets. A set is a collection of views that are part of the publish operation. And so I'm going to create a new set. I'm going to call this, I don't know, review set 1. And this view is going to contain the 2 sheets I created, the 3D model, and the 4 elevations. So select it, select the checkboxes that are part of that review set, save and close. This is very important. Oh, I see that Isabella, it's in the model already. So Isabella, if you can just synchronize with Central, then you will enable me to do this.
Sorry.
Awesome. Let me try it. Publish settings. I'm going to add a new one. Set 2. I'm going to add the sheets, add view elevations. And I'm not going to do the 3D in brackets, but Revit automatically is going to add that to the set. So Revit is always looking for a 3D view to be part of the publish operation. I'm going to save and close this. Let's do that. So if you don't mind synchronizing, Isabella. And then after synchronizing, you may want to relinquish all mine, which is a way to leave all the ownership of those elements. Okay, let's do set 1. On set 1, I'm going to do sheet 1. It's 4 elevations and save and close. So I think, yeah, it worked now. Thank you, Isabel. So this is a subset of the views that are going to be visible in the portal. Not all the views, it's just the ones that I think are relevant for the consultants to do their work. So I synchronize with Central again to save that set. Once that set is created, then I should be able to publish. So in older version of Revit, you can publish directly from the Revit interface. You cannot do that anymore. So the way to publish, you exit Revit. Then you in the welcome screen, then here, notice when I refresh the current project, Revit is going to it's going to read the work in progress, and in the published status it's telling me that there is an update available. And so what I do is I select this new the file, and I click publish. And when I publish, it creates a static copy from the dynamic bucket into docs, which is the static bucket. So from the work in progress, the dynamic to the dynamic one. This is going to take a few minutes, and when this finishing processing, a new static copy is going to be available on the models with a new version. You see version 5 is already here. Sample file that has this circle because it's getting published to the cloud. And that's how we share files internally and with consultants with a subset of drawings. Only the sheets and the views that I selected from Revit are going to be visible in this static file. Any questions? Does this make sense? All right, so I still have to cover the model coordination, which is a model that you can swap here. Model coordination is, you see this finish, the file finished publishing. I'm going to open it. This should have the 2 sheets and the there is. I'm not sure why it didn't publish the 2D views. It says it's open. Oh, it's 7:20, guys. I have to let you guys go. Let me find why the sheets didn't publish, and then next class we'll pick it up from here. All right. Thanks for staying with me. And Lindsay, if you need help, I can stay a few more with you.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it just to get this untwisted.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
No.
Bye. See
Thank you,
Thursday.
Cesar.
Okay.
Bye.